this is the meat of the video, I guess, or what had actually happened, transpired during con. Again, it was such an enjoyable con. I really, really wish that I recorded a lot more of it, because there would have been tons and tons of content for you guys. But again, I was just having the absolute time of my life. I had brought Laughing Jack with me. I didn't know if I was going to do Papyrus, but I wound up doing Closet Cosplay Papyrus, and also Purple Guy. And day one was of Laughing Jack. I attempted to paint the box. I was going to originally do a more intricate thing. You guys kind of see I was trying to do that, but I kind of wanted up painting clouds and blank and blood splatter. But the box was well received. More than once, more than 5 times, more than 10 times people had asked me if the candy was poisoned. I'm assuming because either of the character and or they were actually legitimately afraid of, you know, poison from candy. But this is all that remains of the candy box. Mostly butterscotch and a few strawberries here and there, and some taffies. But I enjoyed the ever-living hell out of cosplaying Laughing Jack. That was probably the most fun I had cosplaying him, or really any of my cosplays I've ever done. He was so much fun to do. I even had contacts in for the first time and forever. It took me a while to get them in. Probably about maybe 20 minutes. I forget which eye was giving me grief. I think it was my right eye. And I ended up mixing the contacts to that eye to this eye, which, again, it didn't give me problems, and I wore it for more than 8 hours, but, again, it never really gave me any grief. You just have to be very careful with the contacts, let your eyes kind of adjust to them and everything else, and be careful of flashing lights, because even with 20/20 vision, your eyes are still going to hurt after a while. But anyways, at one point when we were actually going down to the convention itself, we actually had stayed in a hotel, which is the Sherrington. Very nice hotel. If I could do it again the same way, I would. If I could get the 4 days off, if work would be so gracious, and, you know, do the hotel and everything else. But as we were going down to the convention, I'm in this elevator, just, you know, looking ahead, because, you know, what else are you gonna do in an elevator? And this girl, like, peeks over. There's the guy that's in the middle, and then me, and then her. She looks over, I look at her, she looks back straight ahead really quick, thinking I didn't notice. And it's kind of like this angle. And again, I'm holding my box. And she quietly asked, "Are you Laughing Jack?" "Yes, I am. Would you like some candy?" I said that in a creepy voice and everything, and it was so funny. She freaked out. She was like, "No, but yes, but no. Is it poisoned?" And I gave her candy, and she's like, "Thank you," and then the elevator dinged. That was probably the funniest encounter I've had with Laughing Jack, at least on my own. Later on, Mars had joined me as Laughing Jill, and again, we were having a blast. Our feet were killing us, though, because I was wearing my boots. She was wearing heels, I believe? Boot heels, whatever they're called. And we were at one point walking around the exhibitor hall, and I noticed somebody cosplaying a complete suit of Glitchtrap. And I received this party invitation to a panel. Hopefully you guys can read that. But it's a Help Wanted panel to a certain cosplayer that I winded up following before I even knew that it was them, which happens to be Night Cove the Fox. Hopefully you guys can see that. I didn't know this until after the fact, you know, after I asked for a picture and everything else. And then I believe one of her friends hands me this, or it might have been her mom, not sure, but I look at the party invite first, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. They're doing a panel, that's awesome. I flip it over and I see the card, I'm like, oh shit. I'm following this person on YouTube. Oh, I didn't know it was them, and I didn't know they were going to be here. Oh god. Instant fangirl mode. Unfortunately, the day it happened, we were out trying to get food, and we were not able to make it to the panel, but on the 8th, I think 2 days ago as of this recording, I was able to actually watch the entire panel, and it looked to be a blast. I wish I was there, but again, we wanted to get food, and none of the places around us looked too appetizing, so we walked a mile and some odd many blocks to get food at a gas station that did not really want us around. But oh goodness. Along the same day, before the party invite and before the food, Mars and I actually got to meet a fan from TikTok. We didn't know that she was going to be here or what to really expect, but we got to meet a fan face to face. She's an adorable little bean. She's so sweet and adorable. Probably said that twice, but I wanted to cry, but I couldn't because face paint. I never really expected out of everywhere to meet an actual fan, because, you know, usually with TikTok, oh, somebody followed you, that's cool. And it's great that people follow you and everything, but I've never met one of the people who follow me in person before. And it's just a bit of a surreal moment, like, oh, these people aren't just numbers, and I don't see, you know, my follower count as numbers, but it's interesting to try to imagine every single one of them in one room with you. And it just kind of, like, makes you take a step back for a second. It's like, oh, wow. I'm actually making an impact on people's lives. So it was just a bit of a surreal moment, but she eventually told us that her and her father and I believe somebody else was running a exhibitor thing, a booth, up in almost the exhibitor's hall, but it was outside of it, if that makes sense. And every so often we'd go around and see him. But later on, the next morning after Laughing Jack and Jill, I was dressed up as Papyrus, and Mars was dressed up as Mettaton, just classic. The next day, we didn't get up until, I want to say, 10 or 11. Like, it was really, really close to being the time we had to go meet up with her for lunch. We actually did get invited to lunch. That was also a little interesting. I'm kind of glad we didn't decide to get into cosplay right away because, again, face paint, food, it does not mix. So, we sat down with our fan and had lunch with them. As well, I was, you know, the father offered to pay for food, and I was trying to get my wallet out as soon as I could. Same thing with my boyfriend, but he's like, no, it's okay. It's part of her birthday week or present, something like that. I'm like, you don't have to, but I still wanted to throw him a 20, but he wouldn't accept it. So after that, we got into cosplay, and our adorable little bean got to see the process behind it and everything. It took about an hour and 40 something minutes. And we were able to walk around with them for a little bit before they had to go. The rest of the day went by quite smoothly. I can't remember any randomness happening too terribly much. I remember we went to the concerts, I went to the rave every single night, also the otaku closet. Meanwhile, my boyfriend passed out upstairs in the hotel bedroom because, one, he's tired, two, he can't really handle loud noise because nerve damage in his ears. But Mars was gracious enough to accompany me at the rave. Even though I was dancing like a complete moron, she would just stand in the background kind of like, okay, you are weird as hell. But I'm thankful to them that they went with me to the raves and everything else. And let's see, the last day that we were able to attend, as she went as Jusans, I went as Purple Guy. I actually, again, didn't know this. The morning I was waking up, I learned of Insanity Dog 25 on TikTok and also Instagram was there as, I believe, Golden Freddy? Along with somebody else. I can't remember their username at the top of my head. I will probably leave somewhere in the comments or somewhere on the screen of their username. I just can't remember their username at the top of my head. But I made it my mission to find them because Five Nights at Freddy's. And that was the day I was cosplaying Purple Guy. So I had gotten ready already and everything and was waiting for Mars to get ready. It took them a while because, again, face paint is a bitch to put on. Regular contour, and I guess the beard, it didn't take too terribly long, and I had gotten ready 70% done before Mars even started, so. But eventually we went downstairs, I wound up finding them and got a picture, and they were amazing, and I would like to see them at another con so we could maybe talk longer or something, and I would be so down to hang out. They were super duper nice. I wish I could have talked longer and all with them. Pretty much after that, we were kind of just roaming around trying to find out what to do. Again, roaming around the exhibitors hall, trying to look for panels and everything. Eventually, it's getting a little late. We go back to the hotel room and I get hungry. We decide to take a slight break from the con to calm down from overexposure to crowds and everything, and make some TikTok videos. Meanwhile, it's looking really, really stormy outside, and I decided, no, I didn't decide. I immediately turned to Mars as soon as rain hit the window. I yell at her, "Mars, Skywater!" It was that stupid audio on TikTok. It was literally like, bangs on the window, Skywater. But I'll probably throw it here in the video so you guys can kind of see.
Skywater. Oh, I gotta bring my lavender.
After that, we went for pizza while it was raining. I didn't have anything to worry about, but Mars did. The pizza was okay. After that, we kind of came back to the hotel room, ate our pizza. Again, it was really late after that. By the time we were done, the exhibitor hall had closed. It was time for the otaku closet and the rave again. And that was probably the most interesting moment out of the entire con. While we were kind of walking around the otaku closet before the rave, there was a masquerade going on. It went on for about an hour and maybe 50 to 30 minutes. I really forget. But that was really the first time that at least me and my boyfriend had actually stopped, went into a panel-like setting, and stayed there for the entirety of the whole thing. And what I saw were amazing skits, dances, people just showing off their costume, walking across the stage, and oh my god, I can't fit in to this video alone on all of the emotions that I felt during this masquerade. I was laughing, I was crying, literal tears. there was a Madoka Magical Girl one. It's slight spoilers for the show, but I was crying. It was one for the Kingdom Hearts thing. Again, I was in tears. And there were a few skits that I'd actually won. This one was of Princess Peach. They had completely made their cosplay. The dress, the bouquet, everything. The wig looks spot on, and they were beautiful looking. They actually won master, like first place master something. I forget if it was for the costume or whatever, but they had won masters or something. And they completely deserved it and everything else. There was also this other one that was Naruto and Baruto. I almost said Bakugo. But they had won in best choreography, I believe, for their dance. And it was like a mashup of Jump Force to where their universes collided, and they danced to a song of I Got It From My Dad. Pretty fitting, honestly. And then there was a Bakugo that winded up lip-syncing for their life. Again, amazing performance and everything else. There's also this group of Voltron cosplayers that did a skit of a MMORPG kind of a thing, and it looked like the only thing you couldn't see was the monsters, and they did it beautifully. I forgot what they won for, but they were really amazing. All of these performances were amazing. I just can't remember all of them because there were so many. But the spokesperson for the con had come out after the judges were doing their thing and everything else, before they announced the winners, and this is kind of what solidified the masquerade for me. He said, usually I would be saying this at closing ceremonies, but I also want to say this now, because I know not many of you are going to be here tomorrow for the last and final day of the Saboten. But during one of the days, there was a Silent Hill concert. I believe it was during the second night. And I can't really remember his speech to a T, but it went along the lines of 7 years ago, I got to see the Silent Hill band play with not so great equipment, not a great venue, and seeing it now, 7 years later, there's just a bittersweet to it. He was crying, but he was also smiling. To see something so small grow into something so big, to the point that not everybody in this room can really fit, to where eventually Saboten will have to possibly move locations to a bigger venue, such as possibly the Phoenix Convention Center, which is big in its own right. But it's just the whole thing of seeing something grow into what it is now, and I've been at this con for at least 3 of those years. I know not very long is such a 7, but it's just something looking back on everything, the performers that went through this masquerade, of their journey on how far they've come, and even reflecting on my own self of how far I've come within, again, 3 years of cosplay. Almost 3 years here in October. Just a little bit a month away. But this, I don't know how or why that little speech had affected me so, but I felt such, oh goodness, I had felt such belonging, like I was home. This is what I want to do, and I want to continue with whatever this path of cosplay brings me. I felt so inspired of this creative fire that just sparked, I guess, or ignited into a bigger flame. I don't know where this in general is gonna take me by cosplaying whatever character in the future, but I want to run with this. And I'm not really sure on how to do this, but I want to share it with you guys, and I want you guys to be along here for the ride. And I don't want to give this up anytime soon. I want to do something more with what I've been given and just my day-to-day stuff, but it's going to take a while to get there. But, again, that's kind of what I'm stumped on. I want to share my creativity stuff with everybody, but I don't know how or what to do with it, of what I could do, besides, again, you know, just making cosplays here and there, and I don't know, I guess instead of this turning into a Saboten thing, this is just turning into a, I guess, a look into what I see as far as cosplay. I don't know if I'm going to break this up into 2 videos or not, but I don't know, I'm just word vomiting right now. But the pure amount of joy that I had felt cosplaying Laughing Jack especially, it really, really happened with him. I was surprised that a lot of people knew Laughing Jack. I might not be the best Laughing Jack out there, but I felt I did him justice. There's more that I could add to the cosplay, such as a better box instead of the paint chipping off. Making better fangs for him, and finally getting the little ruffles around his neck so you guys don't see the yarn that's holding these gigantic feathers on. But I felt I had brought him to life decently enough, and to see everybody's reactions to him of either excited, scared, or not really sure of what to do with me, it was a lot of fun. Even same thing with Purple Guy, when I had gotten to see Insanity Dog, I saw them, they saw me, and we were like, deer in headlights, I need a picture with you, kind of a thing. And granted, Purple Guy didn't get too much attention like Laughing Jack or Papyrus, but that was completely fine with me. I had so much fun cosplaying Purple Guy. But it's just seeing somebody's eyes light up at recognition of a character that you have brought to life yourself through cosplay, making somebody's day. It's a really surreal experience. I don't know how to explain it, but I just want to continue this further to where I could do cosplay stuff more often, I hope. I know I'm going to experience burnout one way or another eventually, but every artist, creative person experiences art block, burnout, and everything else, but that's why you build up, I guess, a plethora of cosplays and everything else so you could just turn back to and be like, I haven't cosplayed this in a while, let's do this character again. To where you don't have to keep pumping out all of these new mainstream cosplays of Attack on Titan, this newer animes of Demon Slayer, Sword Hero, I think what it's called. To where I'm doing fandom things. Creepypasta has been around for maybe 8+ years. Undertale's been around for maybe 3 or 4 at this point. And FNAF, shoot, I don't remember how long it's been for them. I think 5 years. And people are still doing cosplays of it. It doesn't matter if it's popular or not. It's just a matter of if you enjoy the cosplay or not. And that's what I really like about this community. And especially at Saboten, it was such... There was zero drama this year. And I know with, you know, every single group, con, there's gonna be drama somewhere, but I felt so welcomed, and I don't know. I'm just glad Sabo happened, and I'm glad I was able to go. I'm glad I was able to meet the people who I did, and I hope next year is going to be even better. But, again, I don't know where I was going with all of that. I was just word vomiting onto this video. So, thank you for those of you guys who have stuck around this long into the video, and I will see you guys in the next video, or I will see you on TikTok whenever I decide to live stream, and everything else. But, you guys have a wonderful day. Be good to each other. Spread some positivity in the world, because the world kind of already sucks as it is. We want to brighten somebody's day. Say hi to somebody. Make a friend. Say hi to the quiet kid. Make somebody's day. 'Cause you don't know what people are going through in their daily lives. Even the bullies that you possibly experience throughout your life. Behind every bully or smile or even a frown, there is a person that is possibly hurting on the inside, and even a small wave, a hi, or how are you doing could make somebody's day. And that's just the best part of it. We want to make people's day. And positivity is just as equally strong as negativity, so let's make the world a better place. Don't be mean to each other. There's nothing that you guys get out of it. So, also, remember to eat. Take your medication if you haven't. Hydrate, just like I need to. I've been coughing throughout this video, even though there's water right beside me. And study if you have to. And go to bed. It is 5:31 in the morning for me. After this, I will be going to bed. So, I will see you all in the next video. Till then, guys, go sleep bones.